All right, so today we have the ASRock B560M Pro4 AC. This is an M.2 motherboard. It's a buddy of mine. We're upgrading his system, and we're putting this bad boy in there with the i5-10400F. So I figured I might as well, since I have it here, do a quick unboxing for you guys. Now, big disclaimer right here. I'm not the biggest motherboard junkie. If you want to know a motherboard junkie, you want to know how good motherboards are when it comes to like VRMs and stuff like that, I always reference actually hardcore overclocking, which is Buildroids. He talks about motherboards. He's really good at that, as well as Hardware Unboxed. So if you want like more specifics on VRMs, how good they are, that kind of stuff, go check out those two channels. I'll leave a link to both of them down in the description box below. But today we're gonna be focusing on an unboxing and my first impressions of what comes with this in the box, so you guys know exactly what is coming with this. So let's go ahead and pop this open. So for reference, this is gonna be handling like a 10th and 11th gen Intel processors. So the 10400F, for example, 11400F, those kind of chips, this can handle. What's nice about the B560M, or not M, it doesn't matter, but B560 lineup chipsets, is that you can do memory overclocking. So for like the 10400F, this is going to be massive. Now, I don't know if it's going to work for the i3-10100F, which is like a $70, $80 chip, which the reason why overclocking is such a big deal, not necessarily just overclocking, but turning XMP on or DOCP on for these Intel chips, is because they get a huge boost in performance when memory can be going faster than the default. I think the default is like 2666. When it can go faster than that, you get a huge performance boost in gaming. You can go, Google and go on YouTube and search those. You'll see what I mean when I'm talking about that. I will have a video showing that probably in the near future, because I have the non-M.2 version of this. That's in that system right there that I'll be benchmarking, and I am going to show the difference between with the XMP on and XMP off, because I think it's really important when it comes to these chips. You need XMP on for it to be able to perform against something like the Ryzen 5 3600. Anyway, that's a long intro. So let's go ahead and unbox this right now. So we pop it open right there. You guys can see there's a lot of junk in here. A lot of junk. Okay, let's start with this. So this is the manual. It gives you all the guides, stuff like that, your typical stuff. I think this is a driver's. Yeah, it looks like a driver DVD disc. What the heck? Why do we still have those? Start putting some flash drives in there. They're cheap enough, right? That'd be kind of cool to have a flash drive for drivers. That'd be kind of cool. Got M.2, another M.2, and a standoff. Or this is for your M.2 slot, your ports right there. You get your I/O shield. It doesn't look like extra special or anything like that. This is a budget board. This comes in at around $100, $105, I think. So it is a budget board, which is what makes it so appealing, in my opinion, as well. So nothing special on the I/O shield. You get two SATA cables, which is cool. And then these are going to be for Wi-Fi. So this is the Wi-Fi model. This comes in a Wi-Fi and a non-Wi-Fi model. The non-Wi-Fi model is about $5 cheaper, but these are for the antennas to go on the back, which is pretty awesome. I love having Wi-Fi on my devices because it just makes it more convenient if you need it. I don't like using the extra like dongles or the PCIe expansion slots or anything like that. It just, for me, I like having it on there if I need it. If I have an Ethernet connection, that's even better. But if I don't, those are great. Now, popping that open. Okay, so we have our motherboard in its anti-static bag. I always like how ASRock takes their boards and puts them underneath. I like that for number one. And I like how they have like this little foam packing underneath all of their motherboards. It makes it so much easier to pull out of the bag like I just did. So much easier just to have it like that, right? And then I can just throw it up here and you don't get yourself poked up and you don't have any risks of damaging like the bottom of the motherboard or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it like this so I can see a better view of it. But you have some pretty big VRM heatsinks right here. They should do pretty well, I imagine. Again, I'm not a VRM expert. I want to learn about it. So if you know about VRMs and stuff like that, get a hold of me. Give me some resources to do some research. I need to learn more about them. You of course get your LGA 1200 sockets, which is again 11th and 10th gen Intel processors. And then you have 4 DIMM slots, which is cool. You have, let's look at the rear I/O. So rear I/O, you have 2, 4, 6 USB ports. Looks like there's 2 2.0 and then 4 3.0, which is pretty cool. You have the AC Wi-Fi that I mentioned. And then you have your typical audio as well as an Hdmi port as well if you get a CPU that has integrated graphics. This one does not have integrated graphics. The i5-10400F that we're going to put in this does not. You have obviously your power connector for your CPU, which is an 8-pin. And then you have up here, you have your CPU fan headers, two of them right here. So one for your pump as well as one for your just a normal fan if you're using that. You have an RGB LED, ARGB it looks like right there, the ADDR LED one. You have your obviously 24 pin, USB 3.0. Okay, if you make motherboards and you're watching this video for whatever reason, please can you guys start taking the USB 3.0 and the USB-C and right angling them, like make them pop up a little bit and right angle. These things are such a pain in the butt because the USB 3 ports on your cases, or like the actual connectors, are so thick and they're so hard to route. I just routed that computer right there. It was a pain. I hate it. Like, do it just like these SATA connectors. You have 4 SATA connections, and then you have down here, we're gonna skip this, the M.2 for a second. Then you have your F panel. That's like for all the connections from your case to this. That's right here. 2 more SATA connections right here. Just USB ports if you want to add, or USB headers if you want to add USB. One for your speakers, some more fan headers. Not sure what this is either. Oh, this is Thunderbolt 1. Oh, I forgot Intel has Thunderbolt. I completely forgot about that. So if they have Thunderbolt, you have another RGB LED headers here, 12 volts here, which is cool to have 12 volt and an ARGB. That's pretty sweet. And then you have your, of course, audio as well. Now, moving to your M.2s, these are one of the things I like a lot about the B560s that I've noticed. So you have an M.2 slot here, 1, and then you have another one down here, 2. So this is 2280 for the length on these. So you can fit basically every standard M.2 slot or M.2 drive, which is awesome. Also, you have like your M.2 Wi-Fi. This is something that is also on the B560 board. The full ATX version, which is pretty cool, and it's something that I personally really like. And then of course you have 2 of your 16 slots, and then you have 1 of like the ×1. So that's just about it for the entire board. It looks pretty nice and sturdy. I like these this cover right here for the M.2 slots. I like having 2 M.2 slots in here. I never really thought I was going to be that big into M.2 slots, but I really want a board with 3 because it's so convenient just popping them all in and then not have to run cables or anything for your SATA connections. That's just me. I'm so on the board of M.2 train, you know. I'm all about M.2s, so that's just me. Oh yeah, we have one more header here too for anybody else that this is a fan header as well. Something I missed, I overlooked. So yeah, the board itself looks pretty good. It looks nice in quality. The silver looks great. The actual the verbiage and everything that are on the heatsinks look really, really nice. The font looks really nice. That's good generalization of the entire motherboard here, guys. If you have any questions or anything you want answered about this motherboard, let me know down in the comments below, or you can go ahead and join our community Discord, where I will have a link to that down in the description box below. You can ask it there as well. And don't forget, if you want to ask questions to me in person live, I am streaming Wednesdays from 8 to 10 p.m. We might be switching it to Fridays. I'm not sure yet, but my brother is mentioning that he wants to switch it to Fridays because it's hard for him to do Wednesdays 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.